And back now here at the KFYR Plus News Desk. And this week, April 7th through the 11th, is Severe Weather Awareness Week, and a good time to remind people about the importance of being prepared for the upcoming increase in severe storms and weather this spring. According to the CDC data, 48% of Americans don't have emergency supplies, and 44% don't have basic first aid kits in their home. Joining me right now at the desk is a first aid expert, Brad Greer, who will talk about what families should include in their home emergency kits to be prepared for weather emergencies. Welcome, Brad. Thank you for your time today, sir.
Oh, glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
You got it. So, why is it important for families to have an emergency kit ready, especially during Severe Weather Awareness Week, Brad?
Well, as you said, about 50% of Americans don't have a first aid kit, and have a first aid kit for every two people in your family. So if you have four people, at least two first aid kits. If you have a multi-level home, have a kit on each level of your home. And very important, have a first aid kit in your car as well, and make sure it's accessible.
hmm So, let's talk about some of the essential items that we need in that kit. What should we be including in that basic first aid kit for home use?
Yeah, of course, bandages, dressings, dry sea dressings are the world's only liquid indicating waterproof bandage or dressing. So if you're walking through floodwaters, say, and water might seep into your dry sea dressing or bandage, dry sea will change color, so you know when to change your bandage.
Okay.
Also have, antiseptics like Bactine, gauze, scissors, emergency blankets if it's cold. In addition to that, have an emergency whistle in your automobile. If you slide off the freeway or in an accident, you can blow that whistle. That way, emergency personnel can locate you and render aid.
Okay. Are there any specific first aid items that are particularly important for weather related emergencies?
Well, bandages, dressings, and you could find these first aid kits at Amazon. Gauze, tape, antibiotic ointments, scissors, tape, just all the items you'd find in a typical first aid kit at your local retailer.
Mr. Gurr, what are the most common items that people forget to include in their emergency kits?
Well, first, people forget to have an emergency meeting or plan with your loved ones. Do that at least once a quarter or once a month during the stormy season. Also, check your fire extinguishers to see that they're operable. Flashlights, batteries, make sure they're operable in case you lose power for an extended period of time. That way you can help keep yourself and your loved ones safe.
Do you have advice for those families with members who have special medical needs or even conditions?
Oh, excellent question, Jay. Yeah, have those medications, at least some of them, in or nearby that first aid kit. So if you have to travel, that way you or your loved ones can keep taking the medication that's required, which is obviously very, very important. And at home and in your car, have at least some bottled water and some non-perishable food. If you're either stranded at home or while traveling in your car,
hmm
you can stay hydrated and have some nutrition to keep you going until emergency personnel arrive.
How do you keep the medical supplies in, I guess, good condition so they're, I guess, usable?
Great question again. Replace those kits once a year because some of those items in the kit will go stale or be expired. So check those kits every year and replace them so that you've got fresh, usable supplies in any inclement or severe weather.
And can you share some practical tips for maybe assembling an emergency kit on a budget?
Well, again, these kits are priced nicely at Amazon. Uh, so, at least have one kit for your family members if you're on a
hmm
budget. And have the bottled water, non-perishable food, so you're prepared. and make sure that automobile is full of fuel and ahead of the severe weather, and that everything's in working order in your automobile so that if you do have to evacuate, you can do so safely.
Brad, what are some common mistakes that people make when preparing for severe weather, and how can they avoid that?
Well, many people just don't prepare at all. Again, it's the family meetings once a month, especially during the spring season, making sure those kits are new and you have enough for your family members. And be, extra protective with our young ones and our elders, as you mentioned, with medication and additional supplies to either keep warm or keep dry.
Hmm.
And one item to think of is, have rain boots too, if you've got to walk through floodwaters. And even more importantly, there's certainly a lot of your viewers fish and hunt. It'd be great to have waders, which are rain boots, and they go all the way up your chest area, so that can really protect you from the toxicities that you find in floodwaters.
Sure. Are there any resources or organizations you would recommend for additional information on emergency preparedness?
Right, I would check CDC, their website, NIH, and Google first aid kit and severe weather preparedness, and
Hmm.
you'll find some other information that'll help educate you and keep you safe at the same time.
It's a great idea. Brad Greer, first aid expert. Thank you so much for the insight. Appreciate the information, sir.
Yeah, thanks for having me again, Jay.
Absolutely. It is now quarter past the hour. Let's take a break here at the KFYR Plus News Desk. We're back with more right here on KFYR Plus.